Hey Scotty, thanks for choosing us as this week's winner of the Show Off Sunday contest. We're going to be showing you our definition of a overlanding vehicle. Let's start with the engine. The Toyota FJ Cruiser comes with a 4-liter V6, and normally the 280 horsepower engine is plenty of horsepower for this FJ. However, with the steel bumpers, the larger tires, and the heavy trailer that we pull behind us, we decided to put a Magnuson supercharger on it. Now this engine produces about 348 horsepower, and it definitely makes a huge difference. So one of the common themes of overland vehicles is the ability to camp at campsites that other vehicles or RVs cannot access. One of the things that's commonly required of an overland vehicle is for it to have 4x4 capability, so that you'll have the traction to go down roads and also have high clearance. This is something that we built into our trailer. The trailer actually has 33-inch wheels, and those 33-inch wheels are the same lug pattern. So the two spares that we have, the one on the trailer and also on the back of the FJ, can be interchanged with both the trailer and the FJ. So we do have two spares basically at all times. One of the downsides to having a supercharged vehicle is the fact that it requires premium fuel. And so we had to add 2 new fuel tanks to the vehicle, because premium fuel is simply not available everywhere in the United States, especially Alaska, which is one of our destinations in the future. So we added 2 fuel tanks, one 30-gallon replacement tank and one 30-gallon auxiliary tank. Both these tanks are made by Long Range Automotive, and they're made in Australia, in Melbourne. So we can also carry an additional 20 gallons up on the roof rack in these Skeptor cans, which would give us a total of 80 gallons. So 80 gallons will get us roughly about 960 miles with one fill-up. And we recently went to Virginia with one fill-up from Ohio. One of the common aspects of overland travel is to be self-sufficient. You have to have a place to shower so that you can maintain your hygiene when you're on the trail, and also a place to use the restroom. So we have this Kinsman Hardware deployable shower stall, and we also carry a toilet located in our tire carrier bag. This is a basic idea of what the shower stall looks like when it's deployed. We keep our shower supplies in this Pelican case. This is where the nozzle will be and also the pump will be, and then we have 2 water cans up here on the roof. We'll just drop the pump into there and then use the nozzle to spray off with. The sun usually does a good job of heating these cans up so that the water's nice and warm. Sometimes it's even too hot, but if it's not hot enough, maybe a cloudy day or a cold day, we actually have an aquarium heater that we'll plug in and utilize our generator to heat the water so that it's not a cold shower. So here inside the trailer, we have a queen-size bed, and it's actually very comfortable because it's a memory foam mattress. We also have a flat screen TV that we can hook up to cable or even stream internet to it. This makes it nice if you do have a rainy day. It doesn't get used that often because usually we're more busy about looking around to our scenery. We also have some pouches over here that we've picked up from Blue Ridge Overland Gear, and that organizes our cords, our shoes over there in case when we get in, we can put our muddy shoes into those pouches and it doesn't contaminate the living quarters. We carry 2 propane tanks in the back for cooking. We have a stove in the back of the FJ and also a gas grill that we'll show you later in the rear compartment. On each side of the trailer we have an awning that goes out so that way you can get out of the trailer if it's raining without getting wet, and also gives you shade. Here on the FJ Cruiser we actually have a 270 awning that's made by Kinsman Hardware, and it actually folds out and goes completely around the back. Normally we'll cook out of the back of the FJ where our fridge is, so that really works out nice to have the awning. I'm going to deploy the awning now so that you get to see exactly how that works. Alright, so the Kinsman Hardware 270 awning is deployed now, and it literally takes just a couple minutes to deploy this awning. One of the beauties of this is that we cook out of the back of the FJ quite often, as previously mentioned, so we can come in here, deploy the awning, be under cover, shade, and then open up our tailgate, and it just barely clears. So it will sit there like that, and we can drop down this table, have a place to cook. We have a stove located in here, right underneath that. And also this is where we keep our tools. It's a long slide out drawer. We don't have actually any back seats in the FJ anymore, so those have been deleted. So this gives us all of our spare parts, our fluids, any other materials that we need. And then this is the Engel fridge. And it comes out the back also so we can access it. So the controls are here on the top, and then you can get right down inside and get the food that you need out of there. So since we have a fridge in the back, we actually need a separate battery to power that fridge. Overnight, the fridge will still be running with the vehicle off. And a lot of times that we are actually plugged in, but sometimes we aren't. And so this extra battery gives us a lot more capacity. We do have a generator that we can turn on and we can plug the FJ in. There's 2 onboard chargers, that being one of them and another one being right beside it. So in this portable power pack right here is another 12-volt battery, and that 12-volt battery actually will work in the FJ. So if the main battery dies in the FJ, then we can replace it with that. Also, there's 2 batteries located in the trunk of the trailer. I'll show those to you in a minute. Those 2 batteries are also able to be put into the main compartment of the FJ. So we actually have 3 spare batteries. If we're out on the trail and one of our main battery in the FJ dies, we have 3 spares that we can tap into. Also, one of the advantages of having the 12-volt battery power pack back here is it can actually be put in parallel, so that when we're running the winch, the main battery isn't struggling as much. There's a lot more capacity and voltage that's going to the winch that way. Still 12 volts obviously, but with them doubled up, it maintains its voltage and doesn't have as much voltage drop. It makes it a lot easier on the battery. This box right here is actually just our chuck box that has our pots and pans, our forks, our spices, all the things that we need to cook. And then for safety's sake, we have a Blue Ridge Overland Gear pouch here on the back of the seat. That right there is a quick pouch that we can pull away in the event of a first aid emergency. My wife's a nurse and I'm a paramedic, so both of us are very capable of using all the materials that we carry. So it's important for us to have those on hand in case we do have that. And of course we have a fire extinguisher there that's ready just in case we need it, actually in the passenger compartment. The seats that we use are the Sleelman seats. They're a German-made seat commonly found and designed in BMWs and Mercedes. And these orthopedic seats are 11-way adjustable seats, and they're extremely comfortable. They are heated so that for the long rides that we go down the road, we can have some heat on our back. And we actually find out that when we get to our destination, our backs are actually feeling better than when we started our trip. So that's a nice thing, especially for those long trips that we go on. The fuel capacity that we have, really we can go for over 6 hours at a time, and so really our stops are usually at rest areas instead of gas stations, just to empty our bladders, and that really is the limitation of how long we can be on the road at a time. This item here is our power tank. This is actually how we inflate our tires. Because our tires are often deflated so that we have a smoother ride out on the trail, the 33-inch tires can actually take a while to inflate. So between the bags here, we have a tire plug kit, Schrader valves, other items that are commonly found to repair tires in this bag. It organizes everything. And then the tank is located underneath. And the tank actually holds CO2, so that's really nice. And we actually have a hose harness that connects to 2 tires at a time, so we can fill each side of the FJ quickly and then the trailer quickly. So it's really 3 steps and we're aired back up. So it makes it nice, especially when you're convoying and you have other folks that are waiting on you to get inflated again before you hit highway speeds. It's not safe to deflate down to 15 pounds and then hit highway speeds doing 70. You can actually get in an accident by doing that and lose control. So it's important to be able to air back up. So the heart of the trailer is the 12-volt system. These are 2 Odyssey AGM batteries with the onboard charger, a isolator switch, and also a fuse block. So if you do blow any fuses, it's easy to find out which one is blown. Like I had said earlier, these 2 batteries, each one of them are the same, and they're capable of being placed in the FJ in case the FJ battery, the main FJ battery, does go bad if we have a failure. So we actually have 3 spares because of these 2 batteries also being compatible. So I'm just gonna kind of walk around and tell you a couple of features of the trailer. So we made this custom swing mount so that we would have a spare on the back, and also it integrates the support for the tandem kayak. Because the kayak is pretty long and it was sticking off the back, it really would stress out the roof rack on the trailer, so that's why we wanted the extra support. We simplified things by making the swing mount tire carrier instead of having a Yakima kayak support coming out of the 2-inch hitch. The 2-inch hitch here is specially designed so that it actually supports the trailer, but also protects the tire. The rear of the trailer has pull points or toe points that you can pull from. They're substantial, and the whole trailer chassis is very, very heavily made so that it would support you pulling on the trailer. You could actually pull the trailer and the truck both, and the trailer would hold up to it. The trailer has belly compartments, a total of 4, and you can almost make out the rear skid plates for the trailer. The trailer has rear and front skid plates. It has trailing arm suspension that's made by Timbren. The Timbren suspension is tucked up actually into the chassis, so that way none of it is exposed, and you can actually ski over obstacles really, really well. The perimeter of the trailer is 2-inch steel, so that if you do get up against a rock, it will actually push the trailer to the side, and everything has been angled to do so. If you really get into some technical stuff, you could remove the front screw jacks. Also, the trailer, it sits back far enough so that it won't get into the FJ if you drop down an obstacle and the trailer is still up high. The tongue box, we keep a lot of different things in there. We keep some chocks, we keep all of our cables, we keep some leveling plates, a sledge, some water hoses. That way we can get water on the trail if we have a spigot. Here in the back, this is a specialized tow hitch. This is what is called a max coupler, and it allows the trailer to completely articulate independently of the FJ. That way the FJ doesn't actually get rolled over and if the trailer rolls over. So that's a really important thing when using an off-road trailer. We have some larger backup lights, so we have more visibility when backing, both on the trail and also in a parking area. The FJ has 33-inch tires, and like previously said, all of the tires that you see are interchangeable with each other. It has Icon suspension in the back. It has rock guards here on the side. The front suspension is also reworked, and this is what you would consider to be a 3-inch suspension. It has a Safari snorkel so that the engine would not suck in water if you get into a water crossing situation. And we honestly avoid those situations completely, but it is necessary sometimes to cross a small creek because that is part of the trail. So it's pretty unavoidable in that regard. We have some spotlights here on the front that are very, very powerful. You can see down the trail quite a ways. We also have some good fog lights located in the steel bumper. This is an Expedition 1 steel bumper. We have a CB antenna there on the front. And these cables, for some of you that are wondering, these cables are actually called limb risers. And what they will do is normally when the hood is down, if you do get on a trail that has some low-hanging branches, it will help to push up those branches so that it goes away from the windshield and doesn't come in contact. Obviously, you're going to have a collision with your tanks up there, but that's not going to be as bad as those branches actually coming in contact with the body or the roof as you push them along. Here on the side, we have some lights that are called ditch lights. So those lights are really good for being able to see animals off to the side of the road and also any obstacles when you're on the trail. They're normally pointed a little bit more off to the side so that you can see those things. So continuing around, up on top, located on the Pelican case, we have what's called MaxTrax boards. Those come in handy, so if you get stuck, you can actually, a lot of times you can actually pull yourself out just by throwing one of those underneath there and regaining traction. We're able to carry a total of 30 gallons of water, 10 gallons in the road shower that's located on top of the trailer that we'll see later, and the 2 water tanks, the 2 Scepter tanks that are up there. I did skip over the winch in the front. We do have a come-up winch here in the front that is rated to be able to pull both the truck and the trailer together, so it's rated for that amount of weight. and we carry quite a bit of different recovery hitches and cables and straps so that we can attach to objects on the trail. Walking around here to the back, this is what's called a swing mount rear bumper. So the tire is actually supported by the rear bumper and it's not supported by the rear gate. When you put larger tires on vehicles like this, you can really stress the rear gate. So it's important to get a rear bumper that's called a swing mount rear bumper. We have a high lift jack located on the rear bumper also, on the swing. And then moving around here to the side, there's the road shower that I was talking about. That can be pressurized, so you can actually have pressurized water coming out of there, and there's a hose that's located behind there that you can pull down. We keep our oars up there on the roof. And then moving around to this side, the mountain bikes that we carry, the mounts that we actually carry them on, those are custom made mounts that we took Yakima mounts and modified them so that we can mount them to our fenders. Got to have American flag located on the rig somewhere. And that is about it. Thanks everyone for letting us show you around our overland rig. Thank you, Scotty, for having us on your channel. And if you'd like to know more about our adventures, check us out at Triad Expeditions.